So was LeBron, by the way, starting this season, coach, who everyone was trying to buy, like, these people were buying freaking tickets for Cavs Lakers. Like, come on, guys. And he made this whole announcement over nothing, which I knew was going to be the case. It seemed way too dramatic.
That shit was...
And then, after all that drama, announces he's not even going to start the season.
Shout out to LeBron.
That's a disaster.
Shout out to LeBron. My man fucking got us with a Hennessy ad. I mean, God, how about all those people, Ariel, that bought those tickets to Utah?
They're trying to sue LeBron.
The tickets went from I think $40 to $500 for the cheapest seat. And this motherfucker came out and said he got a sponsor for Hennessy. By the way, I'm going to put it out right now. Coach Young don't fuck with Hennessy no more. I had it on my 30th birthday. It got nasty. Asked my best friend, Don McDermott. Haven't touched that shit in nearly 20 years. Some people don't fuck with tequila. I don't fuck with Hennessy. I don't care if Michael Jordan's endorsing it. I still ain't buying none of it. And then LeBron gets hurt. Bro, and then he got sciatica? I'm like, God, you can't make this shit up. So
he knew. He had to wait for the stupid ad before he could announce that he's not going to start the season.
Hey, listen, man. J-Rod made a great point. LeBron was sipping on that Henny. LeBron should have been sipping on that Henny a little bit longer ago, and maybe he wouldn't get that sciatica and wouldn't be out 4 to 6 weeks. Just saying.
Is this LeBron's last year?
I don't know.
I don't think so. I feel like he loves the attention so much he would announce when he's going to retire before a season.
I think LeBron will play as long as that he is a top 10-ish player in the league. If he can continue to play at a high level, he's never going to beat Jordan on the rings. So he's got to lengthen like the stats in order to beat Jordan or be considered to be the GOAT. He could play 10 more years. He could be goddamn fucking Satchel Paige and play to his 50. He ain't going to be the GOAT to me. It's always going to be Jordan. But he is too, until you talk to some people who say they would take Kobe over.
What about the Brett Favres, these guys that end up playing a little bit too long and they start to hurt their legacy?
Yeah, well, I think the one thing about LeBron is respectfully, Ariel, he does such a great job of keeping himself in shape. That's something that we have to give him credit for.
Sure, now, but age eventually catches up. And you don't want to hurt your chances.
Ariel, I'm 6'7". I got the C667. My neck. I got pains right now. So listen, I can tell you right now, the only fucking thing that's undefeated in this world is Father Time, and it catches up to all of us. The question is, Ariel, does LeBron get out before Father Time catches up with him?
Correct. And I guess before we get to your futures, what do you think the status is of LeBron and his Lakers?
I think they're a playoff team. I think Luka Doncic is skinny Luka, and I think that's fantastic for the Lakers. DeAndre Ayton's got it. I was, you know this because when we were on Sports Grid, I was always the head of the DeAndre Ayton fan club.
I love Ayton.
I love DA, but he'd never be denominating like he be saying he's going to do. So this is his last chance. If he could be, honestly, a 15-10 guy a night, which he does have the talent to be, that makes the Lakers interesting. But to me, in the Pacific Division, I like the Clippers. I know there's that.
You always like the Clippers, Coach.
Well, listen, it's about health. It's about Kawhi. Now, Kawhi for the first time looked like Kawhi and played for pretty much a whole year. Ivica Zubac should have been the most improved player. He did not get it. I do think Bradley Beal in his spot next to Harden, where he's like the third scorer, is key. I think John Collins is an enigma, but if someone can get it out of him, it's Ty Lue. And then you look at the bench with CP3, with Nicholas Batum, right? I'm missing someone else on the bench. But there's another key piece on the bench. I think the Clippers are going to win that division.
You've got a couple other futures that we were talking about earlier today off air. And you're looking at the Eastern Western Conference winners, Knicks second shortest odds right now at just over 4-1. You believe? You still really believe?
I think you're going to see a better offense out of New York. I think the key thing is the health of Mitchell Robinson. Everybody's talking about
God, we can't. He's
Brunson.
Voldemort to me too.
I know he's a 9-0, but listen, him at the center with Cat at the 4 causes nightmares. They're going to be harder to load up on because of Jalen Brunson not just going to pound the ball into the paper. They're going to space the floor, flatten the defense, and try to attack. I think the bench with Yabusele, with Clarkson, with Deuce McBride, with Larry Shamet. It was supposed to be Malcolm Brogdon, but he just announced his retirement about an hour and a half ago. I think their bench is going to be a lot better, which means you're not going to have to lean on those guys to play huge minutes. In the West, Ariel, it's the Thunder. I mean, there's no other fucking way to go around it. I was saying before he got hurt, I would have took a stab on Houston. Because I think Ime could be one of, if not the best coach in the NBA. And I think in a 7-game series, I think he could outcoach Mark Daigneault. But I think with Van Vliet being gone, unless you get a new point guard in this year, you don't have the talent.
Me so sad because I was so excited for Houston this year.
Yeah.
They could go get someone.
Well, it's interesting because, like, you know, and I just see J-Rod talked about, like, Russell Westbrook going to the Knicks. Like nobody even thought about, like, maybe Russ going to Houston, but that story's already been played. He's already played with KD, so they probably don't want that again. But the Thunder are to play. And then when they get the kid Nikola Topic, who I thought was a top 5 pick in the 2024 draft, missed a year with a knee injury, now is out for surgery. When they get him back as the backup guard, they're just way, way, way too deep. Let's get to my surprise teams. In the East, I'm going with the 76ers.
When you say surprise, how big of a surprise?
Well, people don't even know if they're going to make the playoffs. I think they're going to be a top 6 seed. Okay. This goes to the whole thing with Mitch. They fucked up last year when they didn't just give Embiid. They didn't make Embiid not play in the Olympics, and they let him play on that knee all year. He should have got that shit fixed in the offseason and would have been back last year. Now everybody's writing him off. Okay? With him. If he's healthy, he's a top 10 player in the league, probably top 5, let's be brutally honest. Right? Maxey missed a ton of time. He was ascending. He was so good in that playoff series versus the Knicks in 2024. Paul George, fuck it. You're a third scorer. Just don't fuck it up. Right? Which I don't think he will, because I still think Paul's got it. But to me, it's the 3 young guards. It's Vijay Edgecombe, who I think is a stud. I mean, a fucking stud there. McCain, going to come off the bench. He's hurt. And let's see what happens to that thumb. And then they got a sneaky good trade at the deadline of Quentin Grimes. Put him on the bench. You have Kelly Oubre. I actually look at the kid, Adem Bona, the second-year guy out of UCLA, maybe the backup over Andre Drummond. I look at Philadelphia as being a surprise team in the East. And also, here's why. If they don't fucking win, that team is blowing up after this year. They're going to have to get rid of guys. Let's go to the West.
Well, wait, so the Sixers win total's 42.5. And right now they're actually minus 220 to make the playoffs. So the books aren't down on the Sixers to make the playoffs this year. But 42.5, then, would you say you would take the over?
I would go over. I would just take the over then. They're a 47, 48 win team in my opinion, because I don't think Boston's going to be very good, even though people are talking about Jason Tatum coming back. So the way to look at it is probably just take their win total over.
Okay.
For the West, team total over, it's going to be Portland. And people are like, wait, fucking Portland? Folks, hear me out. Portland was a lot better than people think the second half of the year. I think they had to get rid of one of the guards because between Scoot, Shaedon Sharpe, Anthony Simons, they had to get rid of someone. Okay? Now you got an adult in the room and Drew Holiday, a good defensive guard who can really lead that team, has won championships, multiple championships, and kind of be that leader on the floor for Chauncey Billups. Right? They have Donovan Clingan in his second year. I like the ascension of Shaedon Sharpe. Obviously, I think Scoot gets better. And then there is my guy, Mbop. Yang Hansen, if you haven't seen the Chinese Joker, you are fucking missing it. This kid can absolutely hoop. Threes, dimes, drives, big. So I'm watching this motherfucker and I'm like, how the hell? And I did the draft with Ben and with Ben Stevens and Kevin Walsh and Tom Vecchio. And all of us were like, this kid's going to be a player. I had Yang going in my top 10 because I thought that he was going to be that good. And he slipped down. And then when he went to Portland, we're like, wait, why Portland? They already got Don McClingan. And then I'm watching him. I'm like, man, fuck, this boy can play. I'm telling you right now, y'all in the chat know what I'm talking about. Mbop, Yang Hansen, that boy is nice.
I love that Jessica asked about Camara as well. I forget now. I said, what was his last name? How do you pronounce it? Kamara? Okay, because I remember I had to learn it last year because I hit a lot of his props. Who cares about the pronunciation? I know my broadcast coach would get so mad at me for saying that, but we hit a ton of props on that forward last year, especially down the stretch. Thoughts on him?
I think listen, you're going to see this year how good of a coach Chauncey Billups is. And I even talked about Avija, who could be the most underrated player in the Western Conference.
So we get a lot of props on him too last
year. They
year.
have so many guys on that team that I think Chauncey is going to do work on them. So I would look at them to go over their win total, and then it's going to be plus money. Maybe look at them just to make the play-in tournament. I would make the playoffs.
So their win total is really low, 34.5 right now. And then for Portland to make the play-in is plus 185.
If you want to go plus money, now they're going to have to get themselves to about 40, 42 wins, right? So if you want to take a stab at that at plus money, plus 180, that's fine. Safer bet to go over their win total this season.
You talk about coach. Which coach is on the hot seat this year if they don't have a good team?
Oh, it's fucking Doc Rivers. I mean, Giannis, Giannis got like not one Antetokounmpo, but two Antetokounmpos. Now there's three Antetokounmpos. I feel like I'm fucking counting sheep. 1, 2, 3, and like how Dracula. Now listen, I want to say this. We sit here and we talk about LeBron and Bronny and nepotism. Ain't no one fucking talking about Giannis. Them two ain't good enough to be in a goddamn league. Now listen, at the end of the day, Giannis, do you, brother? But at the end, they're literally just trying to keep the guy happy. And y'all know what I think about Doc Rivers. I love him as a Knicks player. I hate him as a coach. I think he's the most overrated coach in this generation. How he was voted one of the top, 10 or 15 coaches of all time at the 75th anniversary was the biggest fucking joke I've ever seen. So to me, no. I'm fading that team. You're banking on a big three of Giannis, Kuzma, and Miles Turner? That's your big fucking three? No. I actually think that they don't even make the playoffs this year.
Oh boy. Okay, so Doc Rivers and Milwaukee, no playoffs this year. That's going to end up a massive story with Giannis and what happens to the rest of his tenure in the NBA, to which he said he's going to retire on a Greek team, but that's besides the point. A player that you think's on the hot seat this year, who's got to get it done?
It's Trae Young. I want people to hear me out. No team in the Eastern Conference, them and Chicago, have been the fucking middle of the middle, right? Which means not good enough to compete, not bad enough to tank, in the middle, right? Every year, Atlanta, Chicago in the play-in tournament. If you look at Atlanta, they had Lloyd Pierce as a coach, got rid of him. Put Nate McMillan on the staff as a head coach, got rid of him. Then they got Quinn Snyder. They had Capella, got rid of him. DeJounte Murray, got rid of him. John Collins, got rid of him. DeAndre Hunter, got rid of him. Bogdanovich, got rid of him. The only guy that's been there the whole time has been Trae. Now, granted, Ariel, when the Bucks won the championship, I think if Trae doesn't roll his ankle, they were rolling so well, he was playing so great, I think they would have beat the Bucks in the Eastern Conference Finals. I think the series was 2-2 when he got hurt. or I think it was 2-1 when he got hurt. But either way, they were in the series. They've swapped out everybody. Everybody's been swapped out. The only person that's been swapped out is Trey. If they are not, and if you look at the division, Orlando's going to be really good. I think they're top 3. I think it's Knicks, Cleveland, Orlando, top 3. Atlanta should be in that top 6. If Atlanta,
they're terrible defensively.
They listen.
Outside of Dyson Daniels.
What the great Barry Reeves can play defense, right? Jalen Johnson underrated, and they go get Porzingis, who's a pretty good rim protector, and he stretches the floor, right? And Okongwu was really fucking good in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. They have to make the top 6. If they're in the play-in again and they don't get a first-round upset,
what if they lose in the first round? Again.
If they're in the top 6 in a 3-6 matchup and they lose to Orlando in a 7-game series, 4 games to 2, okay. But don't give me this 40-42, 8th place in the East. That shit ain't cutting it. Miami is down. Charlotte, who I think is going to be better, is down. And the Wizards are going to fucking suck.
Are the Wizards for Sky?
No. That's Utah. That's Utah. Boy, I'm gonna show my age. You know the movie Kid and Play? Kid with the high top fade? I'm fading Utah like a high top fade.
Before I let you go, and the chat just asked, Uncle Ted just asked, Cooper Flag championship. But give us your take on Cooper Flag's rookie season.
Cooper Flag is he's a chameleon, Ariel. Right, which means he could do a little bit of everything, right? Score, shoot the 3, which his form has gotten better. Rebound, pass, defend. Couple of ways you want to look at Cooper Flag. Number 1, look at stocks, steals plus blocks. He's really good at getting out in the passing lane. I got to give my shout out to John Shire because I thought what he did teaching those young kids at Duke defense was really phenomenal. That's why that team got as far as they did. And he's a sneaky good shot blocker. So look at him at stocks. The other thing is, I don't know if you looked it up, Ariel, but I told you about this earlier today. Cooper Flag to have at least 1 triple-double. Cooper Flag, with no Kyrie, they're going to play him a little bit at the point. And I don't give a shit that Kendrick Perkins said it yesterday. I said this months ago when he got drafted. And I think Kendrick did too. So I need to give my respect to KP. I think you got to put him at the point because it's 6'9", really good handle. You're going to put someone bigger on him, so he's going to have the speed advantage, right? He has the sight line and an excellent passer. Look for Cooper Flag to at least have 1 triple-double this year. I'm sure some books have some kind of odds out for it right now.
How about, like Retro asked, Ace Bailey, Rookie of the Year?
Ace Bailey won't be Rookie of the Year. Ace Bailey's going to score the most points. Because you know why? I'm from Jersey. I watch him at Rutgers. That motherfucker don't pass. He don't pass. And honestly, with Utah, I wouldn't fucking pass it either. Only thing I'm passing it to is Lauri Markkanen. And he may trade his ass too. So to me, maybe not Rookie of the Year, but if you can find like points props, like if you can find say Ace Bailey 17 plus points per game, 18 plus points per game, I can honestly see it happening. I just think Cooper Flag is going to have a more complete rookie year. And for that's why I think he's going to get it.
Coach, I know you've got hot takes, and we're going to get you on again either later this week or early next week because you sent me some takes that you have, and I'm like, I can't wait to get you fired up, ready to go. We'll talk about when we'll get you back on. I can't believe the NBA is starting next week already. Can't wait to have you, and we'll talk some props.cash as well as the games go on. Good luck, Coach, to those futures.
Yo, by the way, shout out to my guys, J Rod. I know you're in here somewhere. Where AOD is? Where AOD is?
I don't know where AOD is.
AOD is he in jail? Do we need to send an ABP out to him? Do we have to look out for him?
I don't know where AOD is today. He's usually over
here
with you.
Someone find AOD. And by the way, fade the Jazz. We got the Jazz. They ain't got no digits. By the way, last thing, when they moved from New Orleans, why did they change the name? Like, The New Orleans Jazz, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right? The Utah Jazz don't
Makes
make
no
no
sense.
sense. There ain't no fucking black people out there except for the ones that play basketball. And AJ DeBanza, but he got a couple of $1 million to go to BYU. But then here's the other one. The Grizzlies were in Vancouver. Then they go to Memphis. Maybe the Memphis should be the Jazz. And then maybe the Utah should be the Grizzlies. Bye, Felicia.
We love you, Coach. You're the best.